Good morning. I am Mel Barrett,
And I am Rebecca Lavoie.
and welcome to Something's Off, where we cover true crime stuff that feels off to us. That's the easiest way to describe it. We are currently covering the Kouri Richins trial. How are you, Rebecca?
I'm good. I think that one feels more off to you than it does to me, but I'm still interested in it because I think that it's a juicy case and there's a lot of good procedural stuff that always
Yeah.
fascinates me. So
I don't think that something's well, I mean, I don't think something's off. I'm really interested in, I mean, I guess there is something off to me. I'm really interested in people getting fair trials.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I really feel like this one isn't so far. So,
Yeah, yeah.
let's say hi to everybody. Hi, Nate, who is sat by the side of the road waiting for a mobile tire fitter because they have a flat.
That's
So
Nate from
that's
Wales.
yep,
That's Nate
Nate
with
from
the
Wales.
address that sounds like an address from Game of Thrones.
Hi, Nate. I hope that you're okay. Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Doonies. Good morning, Jess. Good morning, Kristen. Good morning, Chelsea. Good morning, TC Nerd. All of our faves.
Yes.
And people are getting their stickers still, which is
Yes.
good.
And I have some more to
And
send. I have to mail some more later today.
I was gonna put some of the stickers on the merch store, but they're kind of expensive, and I don't think that people want to pay like $5 for a sticker. You know what I
I think
mean?
we should put my new sticker concept in the merch store.
I do too. Do you want to? If you send it to me, I can show it.
I can show it. I can have it I can open my Photoshop and show it.
You could.
I sent you a photo of it, which is not the same as actually looking
No,
at it. Hold on
that
one
is true.
second. Let's see. Let me open that up.
You are welcome for your stickers, Luna. Good morning, Jennifer. Yeah, we have yesterday. So basically, we're going to be recapping while you're looking for what you're looking for. We're going to be recapping yesterday in the Kouri Richins trial. There was only one witness all day. It was a little bit tedious and also fascinating, I think. And then tomorrow, our normal recording day, we are going to recap what happens today in court.
Okay. We might have to
And then
discuss time. I forgot to, I may have a conflict, but I can still do it. I just have a little bit of a time thing. Okay, guys, ready to
we'll
see
figure it
this?
out. Yes, please.
New sticker
New sticker.
concept. Okay. I want share screen. And I want share screen. And I want to share. Oh, wow. Window. Here we go.
Yeah, you got to add it too.
Yep. I got it. That's my new sticker concept.
Your gut is good for jack shit.
Thanks very much to the listener who suggested this would be a good sticker concept. I agree.
Pretty good. Yeah,
I agree. We were listening to a podcast this week for crime writers called Valley of Shadows, and I was just editing our review that comes out tomorrow. And there's all these cops in it who are just like, my gut tells me he didn't commit suicide. And I'm like,
yeah,
your gut is good for jack shit, fellas. It's good for jack shit.
Our current president just said that his gut told him to bomb Iran. So,
well, yeah, it's always a good reason to go to war.
Yeah. Hillary says that they will absolutely pay $5 for stickers. If you want me to put the stickers in the merch store, that's great. But also the easiest way, so you don't have to pay $5 for stickers, is you can just get a membership to the channel and then we'll send you free stickers.
Yes. Although I have not printed the gut one because I have so many others that I need to send. So I think the gut one should go in the store, and I think it would be good merch. I will send you the art and the Photoshop file so you can play with
please
it.
do.
And you can see how shitty I am at Photoshop.
You're not shitty.
I'm terrible at rendering layers. Like, I know. Well, we're going to talk about this a little bit today because you do have expertise in editing photos and video, which is part of our news rundown that we want to do this week.
Yes.
But I don't, and I don't pretend to, and I still sometimes.
Whoa!
Ready for it?
I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
I still
saw
sometimes
that blew my mind.
What is it?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead, and then
I still do things in Paint. 100%.
I didn't even know Paint existed. That's like Kevin who uses AOL for email to me.
Yeah, the handy thing about Paint that I like is the dropper thing. You can just open a graphic super fast and just use the dropper to get the hex code or the RGB. And so I use it for that all the time. And I know that you can do that in like a bunch of other, but Paint is the fastest to open because it's so low tech. And sometimes I do a fill. I like do the bucket tool on Paint because I find the bucket tool and other things a little bit more like you have to be more precise. And on Paint, you can just slop that shit in.
Okay, Rebecca. Okay, so our friend, I just have to say this because I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and
Oh, yeah?
I've watched the series probably 6 different times. I make everyone who's not seen it watch it with me. Um, Nate is in Wales and said, "You mentioned Game of Thrones. I've never seen it, which makes me a bad friend, as one of my close friends was in it." And I was about to ask him, who is your close friend? Guess who it is? Have you watched?
Ramsay Bolton? I see that now.
Friggin' Bolton is your friend?
Nate,
I
come
would
on
wanna
now.
No offense, Nate, but I would wanna punch Ramsay Bolton right in the face
Same,
if I saw him. But
same.
he's also a cutie, I think.
What's the
He's just a
worst scene that
evil
you think that
cutie.
he deserves to be punched for?
Oh, Jesus, so many. I mean, so many. Well, I don't wanna give spoilers, that's the only problem.
It's a 10-year-old show. Come
Nate's
on.
never seen it.
Nate's not gonna watch it
Okay,
at this point.
Ramsay Bolton is one of is in the top 2 worst characters in this show,
Besides Joffrey?
besides Joffrey. Ramsay Bolton horrifically grapes Sansa. He chops off oh my god, why can't I think of his name right now? Reek is the only thing I can think of right now. Greyjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Theon. He chops off Theon Greyjoy's dick and sends it to his family. And he kills Jon's younger brother by letting him run to Jon in the middle of the war, and then he shoots him in the back with an arrow just as Jon's about to get to him. Ramsay Bolton is a fucking asshole.
He's a prick.
Oh my god, you are friends with him? I just saw a scene actually, and it was a clip from some other show where the guy, I don't know what his name is, Nate, but the guy who plays Ramsay Bolton is in this new show, and the guy who plays Theon, who is Lily Allen's brother. Does everyone know that?
Yes.
Alfie.
Yes.
So she wrote the song about Alfie. That's Alfie. So Theon Greyjoy walks in the room as another character on the show, and they both just stop and look at each other. And it's like a weird, intense moment, and then they like hug it out. But
I love that.
I can't believe that you're friends with Ramsay Bolton. That's crazy.
That
Tell
is
him I
crazy.
said hi. Tell him to come on the show.
I can't believe
I
you
have
think that you
questions.
can't spoil Game of Thrones at this point.
I have questions for Ramsay Bolton. I would like to talk to him. Nate said he's good to go camping with in the wilds of Wales. I bet he is.
If Kevin walks by, I'm going to tell him about this because he knows
Rebecca,
who Nate is. Yes.
We really do need to get on this sticker.
Okay.
Clem says peen and cheese sticker.
That's why I wanted to do the one with the tiny bathing suit, like Vector.
Oh, that's
and then
what
do
you
the
were
peen
talking
and
about.
cheese. Like that's what I was talking about.
Okay. Yep. All right, let me just get through some of these. Oh, I've already got requests for Higgy from TC Nerd. So I think so. Last time we asked for those of you who weren't here, if we can get to a certain number of likes on the video today, then I will do an impersonation of Higgins. So if we get,
and you also have to tell people we're live right now so they come join us. That's another requirement too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I would love that.
We're live. If we get to 100 likes on this video today, I will do some Higgy impersonations, but you have to put your comments in so let me star this one from TC Nerd.
Nice.
So I remember it. Statute of limitations on movie spoilers is 5 years, says Liz.
I agree. I 100% agree.
I just feel bad. It's such a huge show, and like those are huge moments that
There's this scene called The Red Wedding where everybody dies. There, I did it. Now you don't have to.
You just told everybody about everyone who's read the books was just like, I remember when I first watched it and I hadn't read the books, and everyone was like, oh my God, this episode's called The Red Wedding. Oh shit, the Red Wedding's coming. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? I remember, you don't really have moments like that, I think, in the past 5 or so years of television watching, where you are absolutely blown the fuck away by something that happens in a television show where you're speaceless.
Yes.
There were so many moments like that in that show. I miss it so much.
Killing Sean Bean in like episode 4 or whatever was one of them.
Oh my God. Even the very end with like Arya's moment, I will never forget that moment. And I felt like I heard a collective gasp around the world as we were all watching it, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay.
She kills the knight.
Stop
kills the bad guy.
Don't say it.
From the frozen part of the world.
Stop it.
The head of the White Walkers.
Oh
He's
my
the
God.
proctor of the series.
No one is going to be able to have that moment ever again, except for
Oh
those of
yeah,
us who watched
all
it in real
62
time.
people watching this are going to spoil it for the world.
Oh my God. I can't believe you just did that. Anyway, so like the video, tell your friends that we're live, tell them to come on over here. And if we get to 100 likes, I will do some Higgy impersonations. I don't know why you guys love it so much, but I'll do it. And what else is going on? So we have the merch store up, which I've shown you guys. And there are some, I think on our videos it's actually popping up. So that's interesting to me. But there oh wait, sorry. RuPaul's Drag Race has a drag queen, Mickey Mex, that looks like Arya Stark. I love Arya Stark. She's my favorite character.
She was a great character.
Excuse me.
You know that woman that she goes to like the Hall of Faces, whatever that fuck that place is called.
Yeah.
You know that girl she fights with there?
Yeah.
She's in so many things. Like I see her now, like in so many things. I'm like,
there are so many.
Who fought with Arya Stark.
There's so many, like the crossover between Harry Potter and Game of Thrones.
Oh
is
yeah.
So funny
also,
to
every
me.
British true crime thing every British crime story that I watch on Acorns or BritBox is like all of the Game of Thrones people, not in makeup and not in raggedy boiled leather.
Oh my God. I can't even understand how they shot. Some of that stuff was astounding, especially for the time. Lindsay says Mallet aired years ago. The time for spoilers has passed.
That's
Hashtag
right. And there's so much incest, folks. So much incest. And the ending fucking blows. But it's still worth watching.
I don't think the ending blows. Well, that's probably debatable.
See, I'm the same thing. My anxiety goes to the roof. So I am the same way. I actually, when we're watching something suspenseful, I look it up because I get a lot of anxiety during suspense.
What?
I can't. I enjoy it more if I know what's going to happen because then I can actually pay attention instead of being like this. Yeah, it's a big difference between Kevin and I. And sometimes I accidentally spoil a thing because I think he's already seen it, or because I feel like it's in the pop culture discourse, so I think he knows. Oh my God, so bad.
We can't.
I spoiled the U.S. hockey game gold medal for Kevin. Because it was fucking everywhere. Like it was on the New York Times news alert. It was on all the stuff he looks at, right? And he turned to me and he said, so you know what happens here, right? I was like, yeah, they won. And he was like,
oh no, what?
But he wasn't asking. I thought he was asking like, you know what happens? Like, I'm not going to spoil it for you if you don't know. But I'm like, it was everywhere. It was like literally everywhere. It was even on stuff he looks at. It's not like it was just on Reddit or some bullshit.
Okay,
so
I'm leaving.
Yeah, same. I also, by the way, same girl, same. Especially when if it's super suspenseful.
Nope. What's wrong with you people? Anyway, all right. Merch store is live. Stickers are going out. We have 2 new sticker designs. Like this video, I'll do some whatever impersonations of the Mr. Higgy Bear.
I 100% agree with this.
According to the real history, Jon Snow should win, not Bran. Agreed.
I agree.
Absolutely.
We all thought it was going to be Jon.
I was like, this is
bastards
ridiculous.
Never win.
This is ridiculous.
You mean a character who did nothing the entire show but sit there?
Who? Bran?
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, granted, he sat there for reasons, but still, he wasn't like he
sat there for reasons because he was paralyzed.
Yes, a lot of people in the show had disabilities of some kind and didn't just sit there. Didn't just. I meant sit there metaphorically, not literally. Just sit there.
Our kids make fun of us because we love Game of Thrones. And one year, a few years back, we got this giant fat Christmas tree because we love Christmas here. And we name our Christmas trees. And so this one was like huge and wide. And so we named it Hodor.
Yeah.
And our kids like really make fun of us because we love Game of Thrones. And our 16-year-old sent me a text the other day with a door stopper. And in the video, you flip the door stopper over and it says Hodor on it. Hold the door. Get it? Hold the door. Does everyone know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Hodor. Which I thought was kind of a silly origin story, but at the moment it felt clever. So
I love it. But it said Hodor on it. How funny is that?
I love that.
Okay. We have to stop talking about it. This is not a Game of Thrones
recap podcast. No.
No. Although I could do that. I would do that. If you guys are open to it, I'll do it.
Have you watched the new thing with all the violence?
All the violence?
Yeah, the new one.
The Seven Kingdoms, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms or whatever. Yeah. It seems it's so hokey to me. I can't really get into it.
I also find I think I used to have a higher tolerance for the violence in Game of Thrones. We used to have people over every week to watch it. Mm-hmm. And it was like watching it as a group was a little more like, I don't even watch a full trailer. Yeah, we would have issues. Although Kevin's the same way. And we manage to, so I just sit on my phone and quietly look it up while it's starting or while we're watching it. I
That's
don't
what our
say
14-year-old
anything,
does.
which is why sometimes when something isn't too suspenseful, it's just like a hokey thing, like all her fault or whatever. I'm really good at guessing. Well, not good at guessing. Sometimes it's really fucking obvious what's going on. But I guess that like the episode before, and now Kevin will always think it's because I looked it up, but I didn't.
I am going to get real pictures of Ramsey Bolton.
Yeah, you are.
I love this, Nate. Please send them to me. And please
Next time
tell him
Kevin
I
walks
said
through,
hi.
I'm going to have to interrupt the show to tell him this news.
Tell him I said hi, please. Tell Ramsey I said hi. Okay. We have a few updates to get through.
Yes.
On Karen Reed stuff. It's all very peripheral, but there's
one thing that's not peripheral that just dropped as we started taping this. So
yeah. So on Friday, I'm very excited about this. There is going to be a hearing in the civil case. And what are they talking about? Is it it's about the restraining order?
The emergency restraining order filed by the O'Keefe side to try to keep Karen from getting her phones back, lest she get them and then break the law and destroy the evidence.
Right. And the big news about this is that Mr. Alan Jackson will be in court and will be arguing.
Mm-hmm. And now we have a preview of what he's going to be arguing based on this new filing. You want me to read this to you?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want to put it on the screen?
Yes. Oh, I have that power.
You can do that.
I would like to thank everyone on Twitter for posting this quickly.
I can't wait. He's going to tear this Diller. Is that what his name is? He's going to tear Diller a new one.
Select the tab to share. Yes, this is the one I want. Share.
See, you don't freeze when you go through a tab. Oh, by the way,
I'm in a separate window. I have a separate window.
I don't know if Rob's here, but we found a really good monitor, and I have this like giant monitor next to me, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay. So this is a little hard to read because it's small, but essentially I'm going to start. I'm not going to do all the technical stuff at the top, but okay.
This is a show reply.
Yes. In their emergency motion and their reply in support of that emergency motion, plaintiffs, this is the O'Keefes and their lawyers, baldly asserted that Ms. Reed made certain statements to a third party, Aidan Carney, specifically including the phrase, quote, "I'm dead, I'm fucking dead." Indeed, plaintiffs' counsel began the emergency motion by highlighting and italicizing that quote for maximum emphasis and impact. But that was a lie. Ms. Reed never said that. When the court receives the link to plaintiff's exhibits, which it requested in its March 2nd order, it can hear for itself. Ms. Reed has in the past expressed her anger and frustration with Mr. Carney regarding the fact that he had caused her to be entangled with certain members of Massachusetts State Police, including Lieutenant Brian Tully, an MSP trooper who was removed from his post in the Detective Bureau following disciplinary findings associated with his conduct in Ms. Reed's case. I love that they have to put that in there. In the illegal recording, which plaintiff's counsel troublingly attempted to leverage to his advantage, Ms. Reed merely emphasized her frustration that Mr. Carney placed her in such a position. Again. Fucking again. The recording is so unambiguous that counsel's characterization of it simply cannot be reconciled with it. Either the recording was never reviewed, or worse, the court has been presented with a version that was known to be false. As opposed to the false quote plaintiffs attributed to Ms. Reed, these statements do not suggest anything about her willingness or tendency to respect discovery rules. Because Your Honor referred to this statement in today's order, which we covered yesterday, we felt the need to explain this now prior to Friday's hearing. Further, counsel's conduct raises profound concerns about both candor and compliance with Massachusetts law. In addition to falsifying the content of this recording, plaintiff's counsel of and reliance upon and the illegal recording is a violation of a statute, I'm not going to read the numbers, which states, any person who willfully or attempts to use the contents of any real or oral communication, knowing that the information was obtained through interception, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor punishable by imprisonment in a jail or a house of correction for not more than 2 years, or by a fine of not more than $5,000 or both. Plaintiffs' motion themselves refer to the fact that the false quote was taken from, quote, audio from a phone call between Carney and Reed that was leaked. That recording and Plaintiff's counsel's use of it fits squarely within Section 99. Therefore, it is unlawful for the plaintiffs to use it in this matter. The court should deny plaintiff's emergency motion, which relied heavily on the statement Ms. Reed never made. Reed also respects that the court enters sanctions against plaintiffs in the form of an order requiring plaintiffs to pay Reed's legal fees incurred in connection with the emergency motion and whatever whatever other form the court deems appropriate.
I love this.
It's spicy.
Spicy. It's going to be spicy because Alan Jackson's going to be arguing on Friday.
Right. So, one concern I have, well, it's not a concern. Yes. If I were the O'Keefe's lawyer, I would respond by saying, well, if it's illegal, why didn't you press charges? That's what I would say. And I would try to make an argument that I couldn't have possibly known it was illegal, because if it was illegal, clearly, and that's something you knew, clearly you would have pressed charges. Now, I suspect that the reason they didn't press charges is that they don't want the recording to be a matter of public record. And I don't blame anybody for that. Karen sounds very angry on the recording, and I'm sure there's more stuff on there that she said that would it make her look good as a human being yelling. I mean, it might for someone who understands why she's mad at Carney, but for someone who already has a predilection toward thinking she's a mean, bad, murderous person, I'm sure it's just not something that they want in the sphere. So,
there are a lot of people in this sphere, as you said, acting really disingenuous. And one of them is the attorney for the O'Keefes.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem is that they are working with people. Their clients are people who work with the Coven and who work with Jen McCabe and who work with Kate Peter. And all of these people, like Kate, okay, this transitions pretty well into what I wanted to talk about, which is, we talked about this last time, but Kate Peter somehow has access to Aidan Carney's phone. The messages on his phone, the extraction.
Yes, from when he was arrested in 2023, which he received in early 2024.
We are positing that it came from Meredith, but we're not sure. So that's an allegation. And it's our opinion. But the problem here is that Kate Peter is publicly posting these messages. And some of these messages are between Karen's lawyers, Yannetti specifically, and Turtle Boy and other people. And I think she's going to get herself into some legal trouble here if she doesn't stop. Because
she's been in so much legal trouble, though.
I know.
This is something this is an expected. I don't think she's scared of stuff like that, because she's involved in so many cases. She's been
and she's also in
restraining order stuff
and back pocket.
Oh yeah, but she has had so much contact with cops and courts in her life. I just don't think that for her that feels particularly scary.
Well, it's really fucked up. And I mean, but I will say, I think if Turtle Boy had access to messages like this, he would probably do the same thing. But I think that what makes me laugh about this situation are all the women who are in the Coven and Plevin taking these messages and making them into bombshell moments. Like they're bomb, like they have a bombshell today. Today is another bombshell. And it's like, it's either like their confirmation bias is their overriding, like overarching like baseline. I'm not really sure, but these things that they think are bombshells it's ludicrous to me. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're talking about.
One of my favorite ones from the other day was one of these folks tweeted, I think it was Mama Llama maybe, tweeted that it was a bombshell that Karen asked Chris that they'd go to the sub shop so he could make them pizzas, because if she didn't know him that well or whatever, why would she literally said that in the documentary. I remember seeing her say, "Oh yeah, I suggested we go there," and instead we went. Like,
they were all drinking.
New.
I want when I'm drunk is pizza. And if I find out someone,
it's also an alternative to going to 34 Fairview, which she didn't want to do.
She didn't want to go. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, I don't drink anymore, but if I did and I was drunk and someone told me they owned a pizza shop, I would be like, get my ass there right now. I want to make myself a pizza.
I don't care how mediocre the chicken parm is. Make me one of those, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'll make it myself. Just get me in the kitchen where the pizza things are.
Yeah. And there would have been maybe there would have been cameras there too, who would have captured, which would capture more, because we know he loves him some cameras.
He loves some cameras.
He's the only Albert apparently who has working.
I don't know if this is true, But
Yes,
nobody
this is true.
cares says TB has a restraining order against Kate
This
Peter.
is an ongoing legal case. This is true.
Oh, that's why everyone's like, hey, every time you do this, you're breaking your restraining order. That's what they're saying
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Who knows?
This is interesting. What is the revenge corn law in Mass? That's what's going to get MO in trouble.
There is a law. There's a statute around it. It's so funny. I was just telling Mel this before we started. I can pull up the statute and read it. And like, we can always do that, pull up statutes and read them. However, it's almost like the way statutes are written in Massachusetts have very little bearing on actual results. Like the witness intimidation statute is in no way written in the way it's being applied. And, people give me shit. Like this morning, I'm getting more and more shit about like, are you embarrassed about all the pro Turtle Boy things you say on the show? I'm not, because I believe that everybody deserves rights. And I also believe that doing bad things in response to bad things is almost worse than doing the bad thing to begin with, especially when you're escalating. Like this guy, Purple Kool-Aid guy, he put out a stream, I guess the night before last, where he had done basically an AI analysis and did this big spreadsheet of Meredith O'Neill's Twitter and then three other accounts that he believed were like sock puppet accounts she was using. And he pulled all the tweets down into a spreadsheet and then asked AI to look at the spreadsheet and determine whether or not it was the same person. And AI was like 98% yes. And then these patterns were like, just for those who haven't seen it, it's like 40 tweets from Meredith's account, like a minute break. 30 tweets from another account, like a minute break. There's only like one instance of overlapping tweets in like these, endless spreadsheet of tweets. And, one of the accounts that she's allegedly running is this really racist account that uses like pigeon basically to do the voice of like an Asian person, right? It's so racist. And I retweeted that and I'm like, whoever's running this is racist AF. And someone was like, well, what about the Ghetto Mellow account that Meredith and Aiden were running? I'm like, that's also bad. Like that's me saying racist. She is doing something bad is not negating then the other thing is bad. But if she's claiming superiority, that everything he did was so bad, for her to do the same thing now, in my opinion, is worse because she's already demonstrated knowledge that she knows it's wrong.
Anybody who is making a sock puppet account or burner account and tweeting in the positive about themselves, like Nancy Mace has done in the past and other people, they're not very smart because AI exists and it's easy to analyze. It's like, I hope that somebody does that for Kevin Lennahan's accounts too, because he has some burner account where he's always propping himself up.
There are tools where you can figure. It's also those tools where you can see if something is a sock puppet, like from another. I mean, you can also now see locations of accounts, which really helps. But
Jess had two questions. Did Diller actually listen, or did he just trust Kate Peter? That's going back to the
excellent
audio.
Question.
No idea.
Or trust Peggy because Kate Peter told Peggy, or Jen McCabe told Peggy.
Right. And then the other one is AJ going to seek charges for Meredith leaking TB's whole extraction? We don't know.
AJ is not Turtle Boy's lawyer. Why would he do that?
No, it would be Bradel. Betterow
or Bradel.
Yeah, Betterow or Bradel. Yes, please smash the like. If we get to 100, I'll do a Higgy impersonation. Let's see. There were a couple of others.
How can you see the likes? Where are those? Are you just on the
They just tell us.
Oh, okay.
They tell us. We can, and you can look at it if you just go to your other tab where YouTube is open.
Yeah.
Everyone say hello and welcome to Amanda, and please say thank you to Amanda, Super Planner Girl Amanda, because she does all of our chapters for us, and we're really, really appreciative of that.
Right.
What is her and KP's end game? What's left? Ruin him. They want to put him back in jail.
That's all I can say is that it's never, well, I've said this before, it's never going to be enough. Like people like this who like demonstrate characteristics of people with personality disorders. I'm not diagnosing them. I'm not their therapist, but this is like the characteristics of people with certain personality disorders, right? It's never enough. It's never over. It's never enough. It's always the last word. It's always, I need to it's never enough. And he could die and they would still be talking about this. Like, I guarantee it. Like yes, this is true. This is true. That being said, that's his material. So I really don't think they have standing, and maybe they could file a restraining order or something, but I don't think they could press charges. I mean, first of all, a lawyer can't press charges. A lawyer can, I mean, they can, but a client would have to press charges. But I don't know if Yonetti would have standing there. He might. But again, I read the statute. It's really fucking unclear what could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's his material. It's also supposed to be impounded from what I understand. So that's also problematic.
Yep. I have one other thing that this will make you laugh and cringe at the same time. I think we talked about this the other day. I told you about the video that Kevin Lennahan, when his mom interrupted his stream.
Yes, you did.
And I have it. Would you like to see it?
I really want to see it.
It's so awful. Hold on.
Can we? Can we?
Here we go. Okay.
I can't hear it.
No, I haven't put it on yet.
Oh, okay.
It's so cringy. All right, you ready?
So excited for this.
Can you see it all right?
I can see it.
All right. Here we go.
And what? What are you talking about?
It's outside, some kind of a thing on the shovel.
You know I'm live on the air, right? You see a mic in my hand? Sorry. Some people don't understand the concept of live shows, including people in my house, unfortunately. They see you with a mic in your hand and I guess they don't put two and two together. A very FKR kind of thing.
That's your mother.
Yep. Thoughts?
I think that somebody
happened.
who's willing to
Treat their mother like that?
well, do that on camera. Imagine what he does when he's not on camera.
That's well, and also people
so
are saying
disrespectful.
People are saying that when he leaned forward and put his hand out, he was actually pushing her back. Because she was about to.
I couldn't see that, so I don't want to definitely say that that's true. But still, just the dismissive nature of it, not even making.
I told you,
not even making light of it. Like my response, I think my instinct would be to yeah, obviously I'm on the air. Clearly that wasn't communicated thoroughly in my home. Just something that clearly it's not her fault.
No, but he takes himself so seriously, and he thinks his audience is going to be like, "Bro, I thought you were a professional. Sitting in your basement in your recliner with your microphone on your chest. I thought you were a professional. What are you doing? You just let your mom walk through?" I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, well, first of all, I was like, oh, cringy. But then I was like, how old is his mom? And he lives with his mom and he's in the basement and he's talking to his mom like that.
Yeah.
He's like, what, a 60-year-old man, 50-something?
I don't know if he's that old. I think he looks a lot older because he was really sick.
Oh,
but
well,
again, I don't know.
He's old enough to not act like that.
When I met him, my impression was that he was older than me, but I'm very bad at judging people's ages, famously.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll see somebody we were on vacation and there was this group there. It was one of the women's birthdays. And I was like, oh, it must be her 50th birthday too. And they were like, no, she's 65. And I'm like, I don't know.
Lindsay got a text message from her ex-mother-in-law yesterday because they were talking about, our oldest going to college and everything. But also Lindsay, her Gmail was hacked because she opened an attachment. And so everybody in our sphere got this email from her that was like, I'm celebrating my birthday this weekend. Her birthday isn't until May. I'm celebrating my birthday this weekend. Here's the invite. So open this attachment, right? And so everyone's like, wait, you have a birthday this weekend? So her ex-mother-in-law texted her and was like, I had no idea that you had a birthday this weekend. What are you turning, 60? She's not even 50. And her ex-mother-in-law tried to say she was 60. And she was like, no, I'm not turning 60. She doesn't look 60. But then again, her ex-mother-in-law is also super old. She's almost 90 or something.
Yeah.
I just put this comment up because I thought it was funny because it does sound like something that Emily D. Baker would say. Luna says the whole situation is crap. But as EDB says, you can't put the shit back in the horse. Correct.
This is why stuff gets put in the public domain. This is why it was so important, as folks still believe for there to be a public conversation about Karen Reed saying, I hit him, a thing that she definitely did not say, because if she had, it would have been memorialized at the time by Jen McCabe, first responders, and others who literally were on the scene when she did it. She did not say that. And I still get tweets about it. But what do you think about the fact that she said this? I'm like, I don't think anything about it because she didn't say it. Like, apparently also I'm not allowed to have an opinion about this. I must work for a really bad media outlet if I have an opinion about this, but
apparently
I don't work for a bad media outlet, and I am allowed to have opinions about this. So,
oh my God, Nate just sent me a picture of Ramsey Bolton.
Oh yeah, is it cute? Is he cute?
It's so cute. He's so
Forward
cute.
me the email so I can see it too. We're not going to share it publicly, but
okay, we won't share it publicly, but unless you say it's okay to share it publicly, but I will forward it to you, Rebecca. Let's see.
Now we know what Nate looks like too.
Yeah, they're both cuties. Nate's really cute too.
I had a feeling
I'm totally gay.
With his
I'm totally gay, so don't take this the wrong way, Nate, but you're cute. I have one other thing that I want to talk about.
Yes, men famously don't like being told that they look good.
Or that they have big dicks.
Famously.
There's one other thing I want to talk about, and I also have another thing that I want to put on the screen for you all.
Okay,
so,
well, while you're putting it on the screen, can I just ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Do you think that it is a sexual attack for people to call the Covens podcast the Foreskins? Yes or no? Because yesterday, one of them claims that they were being sexually
exploited,
sexually somethinged. And I'm like, first of all, who told you that the foreskin was sexy or involved with sex?
Gross. We're sexualizing them, Rebecca.
We're sexualizing them. We're not.
I wish that there was, I know that there's some way where we can do like a quiz or something on the screen.
There are just very few words that start with 4. So that one is just a natural fit. So,
and the fact that they changed forensics to 4, the number 4 ensics, is just annoying to me. So, okay. So a lot of our listeners know who Aussie Insider is. I haven't watched a lot of their content, but I am familiar with the fact that they really dig into some stuff with the Karen Reed trial, like really go down to like granular level here. One of the things they've been doing is they've been analyzing all the new videos that have come out from the last document dump from Marbury v. Mad, Kouri Hopkins. There was a lot of video. We've talked about it here on the show about finally seeing Jen McCabe driving Karen's car with Carrie and Karen following her, and how we can see what the taillight looks like, right? So Aussie Insider has pulled up a few screen grabs from these videos, and one of them really, I said this to you before we came on. I am fully now convinced that I believe that Colleen Crawford really did something to the video in this trial.
It's very generous that it took you till now. I mean, granted, it's always been my opinion. Yeah. But like, yeah, now you're fully convinced. You feel like you have proof that you can look at.
I feel like I have proof. And it started with, this was one of those rambling Grant Smith Ellis towel lives that he did, where he really granularly like broke down the Sallyport video. And I'll just explain it to the audience because I'm not fully convinced. There are a lot of artifacts, like in video editing, when little pixels and certain things get left on the screen during the editing process, they're considered like artifacts, right? So in the Sallyport video, there's a section of the video where Michael Proctor is standing on what would be, this is the inverted video, I believe. So it would be Michael Proctor standing on the opposite side. He wouldn't be on the right side he would be on the right side of the car, but we can't see the right side of the car. Right. So it looks like the driver's side. Yuri Buchanan is also there. At one point, Yuri Buchanan walks out of the Sallyport, and then as he's walking out and Michael Proctor's starting to come around the back of the car, this phantom figure pops up in between the two of them, right? And on this phantom figure if you zoom in, you see all of this blurring. All of these pixels are blurred very specifically, but there's a random artifact of a blur at the bottom of the screen that shouldn't be there. And then the most telling thing is that when Yuri walked out of the garage, you see in the corner of the frame his leg leaving the garage, and then his leg just stays there while the rest of the video keeps moving. So that was clue number 1. Clue number 2 was that if you watch this video in slow motion, you see these blurs move and you see these artifacts sort of move all over the screen if it's frame by frame. And then all of a sudden there's an actual cut in the video and all the blurs go away, but Yuri's leg is still there. So we don't actually know who that third person was. I think a lot of people are saying that it was probably Berkowitz or Higgins, not really sure. But that was one where I was like, okay, we're getting closer to like they manipulated this even more than just inverting it.
Do you want to explain your expertise and why you were more qualified to make this judgment than other people?
I mean, I can. I don't know if it makes me like wholly qualified or more.
You're more qualified than I am, or the average
Okay.
person viewing this probably is.
So I have been a video editor for a very long time. So for probably, I don't know, since the early 2000s, like 2002, I've been working, I went to film school. I was a filmmaker. I was mostly on the production side, but I ended up becoming an editor.
You worked in TV, right? Like you did a lot of things that people would know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did bigger shows, but it was always on the production side. I didn't edit big shows, but I edited smaller projects. I edited my own feature film. I'm a consultant. I edit for people if they want to hire me for something. I do music videos. I do all this stuff. And it's not to say that I know everything there is to know about, granular editing, but I know a lot. And I've always worked with Final Cut. I've always worked in Adobe. I know how to put blurs on things. I know how to put blurs frame by frame if I need to. I know how to splice something. There's people know a lot about editing. So you can watch that one video, the inverted video, and there's a lot there, but it's still not proof to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw this screenshot that Aussie Insider put out, and I want to put it on the screen here. Hold on. Okay. You guys can't see it.
Can you make it bigger?
I'm going to try to.
Like expand it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
I
about
love
as
this
big
one.
as I can make
I love
it.
this one.
Okay. So there were 2 photos that Aussie Insider put out, and this was the second one that I saw. This is Karen's car, and this is, I believe, 12/17, 129. So this would be Karen driving back to John's, I believe. No.
12/17 she'd be driving to that's 12:17 a.m. I mean, that would be that would be on her way to the Fairview, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know if the time matters so much here because it's not about the time. It's actually about what they did to the video.
Okay.
So this would be the passenger side tail light, right? Can you guys see my mouse?
I can see that. I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. So this would be the passenger side tail light, the one in the back, obviously. This is the one that they said is cracked, and this is the one that they said that the diffuser isn't working. So there would be no white light, right? So the interesting thing about this video is, and I can't really zoom in anymore.
Oh, you can see it pretty clearly here.
No, but if you zoom really close, you can actually see the outline because first of all, this white doesn't match this white. Do you see how this is glowing?
You mean the front tail light and the back tail light?
The front tail light is glowing. The back tail light is just a random whitish color. Right. And it also has an actual shape to it, which it shouldn't in this video. And so that's pretty strong, right? What's even stronger than that is, do you see this reflection right here on the road?
Yes, the red reflection of the white light.
Do you see how this white light is like whitish, bluish?
Yes.
But this white light is red?
Yes.
So this is reflecting what the tail light actually should be color. This should be the color of the tail light.
Right.
And so someone, Colleen Crawford, has put a white block, basically, an edited digital white block over this tail light. They're also making the tail light look a lot bigger than it is.
This makes like no sense with the timestamp or anything. I'm just confused about why they would even bother to do this because
yeah. Let me see. There's another one too. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think that they're just giving examples of what color So you can see this one is red, reflected red. This is not the same car. These are just examples. Let me see. I'm going to take this off the screen. Let me see if I
That's
can
fine.
find more, because that was the one that I just saw and I went, oh, okay. There's a better one that is Karen's car passing by a tree, basically. And whoever changed the lights in the video put the color of the lights on either side of the tree and made it morph through the tree.
Yeah.
Like the light goes through the tree. I mean, it's just like, this is amateur hour over here. I don't know how she calls herself a digital forensics person. If it is in fact Colleen Crawford who did this. And I don't know.
There's a lot of good stuff on this Twitter account. I'm looking at it right now.
There really is. Aussie Insider's pretty great. And they, like I said, they really, really dig into some of this stuff. Let me see if I can pull up.
I like the close-ups of the brush tool. That was fun.
Yep. Yep. They have a lot on the tail light. So here, I'll just page through some of this. Hold on. All right. So this is, yeah, she's talking about her brush tool here. So if you look at this right here, let me see if I can make, this is as big as I can make it. Do you see this in the corner of the tail light with the black car with her Lexus?
Yes.
This is brushed right here from Adobe.
Where? I can't see your cursor, so you got to just explain.
So in the right photo, which is the Lexus, in the very corner of the tail light, do you see how it's blurry?
Yeah.
That's brushed. That's a brush
see.
tool right there.
I see.
That's what she's talking about when she says brush tool. So these are really great examples, but she has a ton of them. And these are all just reflections of lights on the ground. Let me see. Oh, is this the tree one? No, that's not it. Oh, there it is. This is the tree one.
Oh, I see where the light goes through the tree. It looks like a light really cutting the tree down. She added in color and brushing over the tree, even though the car is behind the tree. I know this is difficult to see on this little screen. I would encourage you all to go to Aussie Insider's Twitter and their YouTube and watch some of this stuff. It's convinced me, and I don't say that lightly. It's convinced me that Colleen Crawford and who was she working with? It wasn't Fanning, was it? I don't know.
The guy she was working. No, it was one of the. I think it might have been Fanning, but she was in a company with them. The very first episode I ever did with you on the readathon. That.
They had like a consulting company, right?
Yeah, the very first episode I ever did on the readathon with you was about Colleen Crawford, and I think it was Fanning. So yeah, I'm convinced. I think that they manipulated, and that's why we never saw these photos. Because the Commonwealth,
there's also video that the Commonwealth had that we didn't see. That's like all clear and not grainy. Like that's the thing that blows my mind, is that what was presented as trial as the best they could do.
I mean, and that's the thing. And you can also make footage grainy. I can make this footage grainy right here, right now, if I want to.
You can't convince me that the driveway footage in John's driveway when Karen's pulling out and she already has the broken taillight, allegedly the very broken taillight as appeared in Canton PD. You can't convince me that what they showed at trial. I mean, I've seen what purports to be the real footage, and it's like, this is completely a different experience watching this. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that briefly, because I have talked a lot about Colleen Crawford, and I've, the inverted Sally Port video and the phantom people, all of that stuff could be kind of explained away, but you cannot explain away these boxes of pixelation and the reflection on the ground and coloring through a tree. You just can't. How do you explain her saying, I hit him at the scene, and finding all those pieces of taillight and the DNA found on the, how do you explain that?
Please stop. Do you need to leave and be on the Foreskin channel?
Don't sexualize them.
All right, let me grab some comments really quick, and then we are going to finally talk about the Kouri trial.
The most anxiety-inducing day of court I've ever seen in my life.
Jesus Christ. Everyone. I thought it was just me because I've been poor my whole life.
No. I have reasons for being anxious about it.
Everyone was anxious about it. And I was like, this is hard for me to watch. And I put it on like fast speed, and I was like, this is awful. I can't do this. Honey Kid said, wonder how many other people she's done this with. Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing is she called herself a forensic, what did she call herself? A digital forensics something or other. But she dissolved that company right before, I think it was right before the second trial started. Do you remember that?
I
and I
remember
talked about
talking
it.
about it on the readathon.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
Crawford, man. She's also the one who did it in the trial too, before the prep for trial too, didn't let the expert that they flew in from Texas after hearing there was data for him to pick up, sent him away and said, there's nothing here. And it was like, it was an egregious thing that Bev Canoni just sort of was like, well, if there's nothing, there's nothing.
Well, there's nothing there.
They had it in writing that he was going to be picking. They paid like $12,000 for this guy to come up and collect this stuff.
Yep. So I don't know if we've gotten to what we're at for likes right now, but if you haven't liked the video, go like it. Yeah, it was fanning. That's what I thought it was. With that one bit, what about statement, Rebecca, you convinced me of Karen's guilt.
You're welcome. You needed to be, educated on this. Her saying, I hit him 3 times. Lots of people hearing it in real time. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Apparently I'm very vain on this channel, which I am.
Apparently.
To be real. But yes, I did. I haven't washed my hair today because I have a tummy ache this morning, and I just used my Dyson Airwrap. That shit is amazing. I haven't used it with the small brush attachment now.
Well, I, before I jumped on here, was rushing home from a tennis session. So that's why I'm wearing a hat, because I didn't get a chance to do my hair.
This is why that dude likes you better than me on Twitter, because...
What dude? What are you talking about?
Some dude who said, you're more objective. You're less vain.
I'm more objective?
Which, you being the more objective thing is actually the thing that cracked me up. I was like...
Oh my God.
Maybe about certain things, you are far more objective. Like,
maybe he's talking about Turtle Boy. Maybe because I'm like, Turtle Boy's an asshole.
But you also are like, I don't think you and I are different in our defense of his rights. That being said, no. You're the reason to tune in, which I don't disagree with. I actually think you are a funny and wonderful partner who absolutely is the reason to tune in, especially when you do your armpit sniff impression of Higgy.
Karen. Okay, I mean, Dot definitely agrees with me that I am not.
You are not more
objective.
Way
Mel is more objective.
I agree with that as well. I'm more skeptical than you are in many circumstances.
Passionate. I like to call it passionate. Oh, Fervent has a whole Tommy Paul episode. I gotta go watch that.
What's Fervent? See, I don't know anything.
It's just another channel. It's another creator. Okay. Shall we talk about Kouri Richins?
I'm so stressed out. I was
I know.
I only watched a little bit of it, and I was reading the East Idaho News live blog, which, by the way, is excellent. I really recommend if anybody wants to quickly catch up on the day at trial, if they're interested in this case or any other cases that they're covering over there. Yeah, like 334, 336, 339, 342. Like, it's
with detail.
Really good.
They do it so fast too. He does it so fast. I'm like, okay.
Well, then 2 days ago, I made a bunch of notes about watching the trial, and then I looked at his thing, and I was like, "This is so much fucking better than mine."
Well, but our notes have like commentary too. Like, he keeps the commentary out of it. Ours
he doesn't
like,
say
what the
people
fuck
are
is wrong
cute.
with this guy?
Yeah, he doesn't say what a
wrong with
cutie
this guy. Oh, the judge is a baritone. 51 likes to go. Come on, guys, let's get on this. Okay. So yesterday in the Kouri Richins trial, day 7, we had the forensic accountant.
Damn.
She was smart as fuck. Like, I props to her. I could never do what she does. She gets to, well, the way she explained it was she gets to know a human being and their story and who they are by literally tearing apart their finances, like going through their bank accounts.
Please don't do mine.
Please don't do that to me. Okay. So her name was Brooke. What was it? Brooke Karrington? I always forget what her name is.
Karrington.
Karrington. That's what it was. Yeah. Karrington. Brooke Karrington. Yeah. So, yeah, Brooke Karrington made me very nervous, and she was very good at her job. And I would like to just say right off the top, this didn't come until later in the cross. Brooke was on the stand all day yesterday. This could have been done in about 2 hours, I think. I think the prosecution was a little bit too granular. It was a little too in depth. Also, I disagree with some of the judge's decisions as
I
far as
don't.
this witness.
I
know
don't
you
disagree with the
but
decisions. I think this financial stuff is very relevant. I think it's fair game. I
is
think
it
it's
more probative than prejudicial, though?
you mean prejudicial
I
than
think it's
probative?
prejudicial. That's what I meant. It's
It
more
is prejudicial,
prejudicial.
but it also speaks to the motive in the case, which I think is
But it's a
important.
they are completely separate crimes.
No, it points to motive for her to want to kill her husband. I think they are inexorably linked. So one of the things I kept thinking about yesterday, and for those who
Okay.
didn't watch it, we are going to go over a little bit.
Yeah.
This woman wasn't just bad with money. She was criminal with money. She took out loans in her husband's name and didn't tell him. She wrote him checks from her business and put them in her own account. She was basically presenting fake bank statements to get lines of credit and all this stuff. And, she was constantly kiting checks. Like, it was bad, really bad.
Yeah.
And one of the alleged motives is that she wanted him dead so she'd have access to more money to get herself out of this like $3.5 million hole that she completely dug herself into. Now, the thing that I kept thinking about yesterday was how much these financial bad facts remind me of bad facts in family annihilator cases. So
And
many
Murdoch.
family annihilator perpetrators, Alec Murdoch, or this woman in New Hampshire
Walsh.
who was Brian Walsh, this woman in New Hampshire who was she killed her kids except for one of them and killed herself. And she was the like regional manager at a wings restaurant, and she'd been caught embezzling, and she was like embezzling a lot. It was like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the guy just told her he was going to press charges. And I'm not saying this case is the same as those cases. I just kept watching this and thinking, I think if she killed her husband, I think we are very lucky she also didn't kill her kids, because there's so many fingerprints on here that tend to be that can be motives in murder, but also motives in family annihilator cases. So these are bad facts, and I think they are probative and not prejudicial. That's my opinion. Why do you think they're more prejudicial?
I think that there are two separate crimes, and I don't totally buy that she killed Eric over the financial problems that she was having, because there's a couple of reasons, actually. I'm not totally convinced she killed Eric yet, honestly. I think that it still hasn't been proven how the drugs got into his system. And someone, I think it was Shauna, I don't know if Shauna's still in the chat, but Shauna made a really good point on our Facebook group. By the way, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, you should join it. There are a lot of great discussions happening there. It's Something's Off with Mel Barrett and Rebecca Lavoie. It's a private group, so ask to join. Shauna made a really good point. She broke down, or they broke down, I'm sorry, I don't know how you identify, but they broke down, I think, 7 or 8 points in the trial yesterday or the day before. And one of those points was that, oh shit, I just forgot it. Oh my God, hold on, I gotta look at Shauna's, because she made they made some really good points. Hold on a sec. Sorry, Shauna, if you're here, help me out. Okay, I think I got it. Shauna is saying it's not unheard of for a family to be in denial about a loved one's drug abuse or death from it. Yes. The housekeeper. What was it? Kouri wasn't exactly a financial genius, but I'm troubled by the forensic accountant from today summing up that she killed her husband because of the financial stuff. In her job, she surely investigates all kinds of fishy money things, and I highly doubt every single one of them is a homicide. I'm going to agree with that statement and that opinion, because Kouri, we'll get into this in a little bit, but Kouri ended up selling the big mansion, the one that went for $3.4 million. She made $500,000 on that, and it happened the day after Eric's death. Now, she didn't schedule that closing for that day. It just happened that way. But basically, real estate people do this all the time. They move money around to come up with money to buy properties, to flip the properties. They're always, robbing Peter to pay Paul, or whatever that saying goes. And a lot of people get into financial trouble over it. It doesn't help that, we were just coming out of COVID. And as someone who experienced a bit of financial ruin myself during COVID and a divorce during COVID, I'm not saying obviously I didn't have access to this kind of money, but I've been struggling since COVID to like recoup my business loss. And she was in a really shitty financial situation that she put herself into. I'm not saying she didn't. But what I am saying is, as far as the judge's ruling, I think the defense made some really good points on the procedure.
You're getting a little fact checked here. I missed the part about the thing. So
I am not sure that's true because I know she made $500,000 on the sale of that house. It may not have happened the day after Eric died, but she made $500,000 on the sale of the mansion. And that money, she took it immediately. And then also the life insurance money that she got from Eric, she took that money immediately and put it toward what she owed. She was wiped out of the 1.2 million or whatever.
Yeah. It's a
and
lot.
then
There's a lot of conversation about whether or not that's true. And I just wanted to make you aware. That's more kind of
Kouri closed on a $3.2 million mansion the day after Eric died. Karrington testified Kouri had zero ability to repay the high interest loans for the property, which eventually foreclosed.
Right.
You
So
are correct.
she bought it that day. Yeah.
She bought it that day. She also made on one of the sales, maybe it's not that mansion, maybe it's a different one. She made $500,000 off of one of the sales. She actually made a good business decision at one point. And I think a lot of people that are put themselves in this situation are waiting for that one good decision to pay off so they can pay off all the other things. And then they're on a roll, right? So to me, she was gambling. She wasn't handling her money properly. She was doing a lot of shady shit. I do think it's prejudicial because I'm not totally convinced that she killed Eric. That's the problem here.
Okay. So I do think she killed him. I think it's more likely she did than not. But the reason it's, in my opinion, probative is because of the things she did involving him. She had his name on things that he didn't know he was on. She was stealing from him, and she was committing fraud by putting his name on loan papers.
Yeah.
She was writing checks to him. He was largely unaware of all this stuff. And
except for the fact that they shared a bank account and he had access to all of that.
Not all of it.
Oh, the joint
she
account.
Put his name. What it was very clear to me was that she was putting his name on things that he didn't know about.
Right.
So what I think another big motive here, it's not just that she was in financial trouble and she wanted his money. She didn't want him to find out the scope of some of this stuff. Now, this is another like frequent motive in cases involving money and murder. It's not just the problem, it's the discovery of the problem. And somebody with the pathology to, in my opinion, create fake bank statements in order to secure more money. That's also fraud. She's committing serious financial crimes.
It's totally separate crimes, though.
To me, they are linked because she involved him in these frauds. She used his name, his social security number, his credit score in some of these fraud stuff. And she clearly was concealing a lot of this stuff from him. So to me, it does speak to motive that she could potentially have killed him so he wouldn't find this out. I don't think it's separate. I think it's inexorably linked.
Okay. I know everyone's saying she didn't make any money. There is a specific, it's a during the cross. And the reason I know that she made $500,000 is because because the defense attorney, Nestor, got corrected because she says to the financial accountant, so she made 1.5 million on this sale. And she had her math wrong. And the forensic accountant corrected her and said, no, she made 500,000. Okay. I will figure out what the details are. I know everyone's saying she didn't make any money. She did. She made $500,000. I'm not saying she's a good business person. TC Nerd was just like, just because, she makes one good decision doesn't make her a good business person. I am not claiming that whatsoever. I am telling you, I'm also not saying this is the way you should do things. What I'm saying is I know a lot of people who take these risks and take these chances knowing that eventually, or hoping that eventually, one of these sales is going to make them enough money to pay off all the debt they have, right? It's not a great way to run a business.
It's a pathology. It's a gambling pathology. It's like a gambling addict.
Exactly.
But I think that she had more than that going on. She had more than that going on. She was also very comfortable living in a place where she did illegal things that she concealed from her partner in order to feed her habit, for lack of a better word. And it's like, I just think that it absolutely goes to motive. I think this judge made the right call on these things. I really do. I understand why her lawyers her lawyers are doing a good
have
job
to.
trying to defend her.
They have to
But-
preserve the record. I think I'm not saying that. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say if the judge did the right thing. I think her lawyers are fighting really hard for her. They make mistakes. They're not always saying the right things. They made some big mistakes on the cross. One of those things was when her defense attorney Nestor said, "Did you see anything in the files that you went through that said I wanted to kill Eric from Kouri?" And she said, "Well, I did see her say that it would be easier if her husband wasn't around." So that was not good for the defense, right? I think my point is I am not defending Kouri. I just want to make that very clear for the record. I am really, we are in week 2 of this trial. I am trying to keep an open mind, as a jury is instructed to do, that she is innocent until proven guilty. She has not been proven guilty in my estimation yet. And I do think that her lawyers are fighting really hard for her, and they are trying to preserve the record for any appeals that might come. I'm always concerned about prejudice versus probative facts in cases.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like I look back and I think about this to me feels very similar to when they brought Aruba into the Karen Reed trial.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reason for Aruba to be in the Karen Reed trial.
I agree. That was a made up. So the difference there is this was based on hearsay where somebody was assuming they understood the contents and substance of a disagreement between two people.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, had similar disagreements before and similar disagreements afterward. And the state was kind of asserting that this Aruba thing was like a trigger that ended up leading into a cascading set of events that led Karen to want to kill John. So I don't think there was enough substance there. It's not like she was heard by multiple people yelling at him in a hallway, "I wish you were dead." It was literally her being jealous about her perception that he was kissing somebody else or flirting with somebody else. And that is very different than if she had put his name on documents to get money and then she ended up being millions in the hole and knew he was going to find out. It's a very different set of circumstances, in my opinion. I have issues with prejudicial stuff too. I just think that this is fair game.
Yeah. You're absolutely, Jess is actually right. This is right. This is what I should have said, and you're absolutely right. No defense attorney said she could have made that if it hadn't been foreclosed on because of first being arrested. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, I mixed that up. What the defense attorney was saying was the house was foreclosed on after she was arrested, but she was about to or could have made $500,000 on that sale, which is what she was moving toward.
She was pissed. She was like, "I could have won it all back. I was so close."
Yeah.
But that's only a sixth of her debt.
No, I know that she was $4 million in debt. At one point, her checking account was $60,000 overdrawn, which how does a bank let you get to $60,000?
She had $300,000 of bounce checks from one account. And that question came up, and she's right. And this is like my ex-husband was a banker. He did commercial lending and he did, risk assessment and all this stuff and had very long-term relationships with clients, many of whom found themselves at some point in a place where we wouldn't lend the money today, but we've done it 18 times. So this, there's like this long-term high dollar value relationship. So think about debt for a second. The thing about all of her debt with all these institutions is debt makes institutions money. So institutions aren't necessarily debt averse. They are fraud averse.
Yeah.
But
yeah. She said being married is inconvenient. I was paraphrasing. Being married is inconvenient in the email. And that wasn't a good look for the attorney because the attorney should have been more narrow in her questioning. Like, did you ever find anything in the emails or the documents that you were going through where Kouri said, blah, 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 but she didn't. She said, she basically was like, did you see any emails? Or she said, did you see anything? And the anything is sort of what screwed her there. But as far as the arguments that were being made yesterday outside of the presence of the jury were that, and I agreed with the defense attorney on this one, they were objecting to the tax evidence. And I understand why, because the defense was arguing that Karrington's testimony regarding inaccurate tax filings were speculative and prejudicial because first of all, the filing tax returns is a separate crime, but also the way I understand it, I'm not a financial person. Don't come at me, please. But the way I understand it, she was saying that she made less than or more than she did. There was no reason for her to do what she was doing on her tax filing. The only reason she could have been doing it was because she wanted other people to think she made more money than she did. But it doesn't show the same things that all the other financial records show. And then there's also the issue that the tax filings shouldn't necessarily have come in because the accountant said that in all of the loan applications she made, she never had to show her tax filings.
That's weird. Okay.
I thought so too. A lot of the people that I've listened to about this case were like, yeah, you never have to show your I've never had to show
tax filings. No, you actually typically don't. Usually it's statements for loan stuff.
Right.
And
she
personal loans like mortgages. Yes.
She never had to show her tax filings.
Yeah.
And so the tax stuff shouldn't even be brought in is what the defense was saying. And I agree to some of that. There were also Rule 404B, which is prior bad acts. I mean, so the defense was bringing this up again, that Kathy Nestor was saying that she was raising a formal objection on the 404B regarding the HELOC, so the home equity loan line of credit.
Yeah.
Arguing that it was improper character evidence of prior bad acts designed to prejudice the jury. Kind of, except for she used Eric's name. Yes. Exhibit 244, foundation, the sidebar. We don't know what happened at the sidebar, but the defense was arguing the header of the document contained information the witness had not laid a foundation for, and the judge ruled the table itself could be admitted, but the header info must be excluded. I don't know exactly because they were talking about that at sidebar. And then there was also hearsay in emails. So the judge sustained defense objections to an exhibit involving a real estate contract, and sidebars occurred over emails between Kouri and lenders. The judge ruled the jury could consider what Kouri said in the emails, but could only consider the lender's responses for the effect they had on Kouri, not for the truth of the statements.
Right.
And then they had this very long, in-depth conversation about, was the defense attorney going to object every time something came up? Was it going to be an overall objection? It was a little confusing, I think. Fortunately, this happened outside of the jury. So basically,
this judge is so great. I mean,
he's so great.
I'm comparing this to the sidebar. I just saw it reviewed earlier this morning where, Judge Cannoni basically told Alessi in front of the jury that she was like, this is the last time that he wanted to approach and discuss something. And the next day he had a sidebar with her and said, I need you to do a curative instruction to the jury because you're making the implication that I'm wasting their time and wasting your time. And that's not
exactly
right. And so this guy doesn't seem to have this same obsession with, the obsession in the Karen Reed case with the jury's time.
Yeah, I know.
But only for the defense was wild to me. So I like this judge a lot. The part I watched yesterday when he was handling this stuff, I thought it was very straight and really reasonable. Even if you disagree with the calls, you have to admit he did them in a reasonable way.
Legally she had power of attorney and could do it, right? Just like how Epstein allegedly stole hundreds of millions from Wexner.
But that power of attorney was fraudulent, as far as I understand it from the testimony.
For Eric?
Yes.
The power of attorney for Eric? I don't know. That's an interesting question. So here are the ways that it definitely hurt.
Do you think he would have given her power of attorney?
Well, I know that he controlled all the finances and that she had to have a separate, checking account for herself and had to make, her own money, obviously. And that was a sticking point between them. And I don't know what the motivation was for him to control the finances. If it comes from his LDS background, if it comes from him thinking they needed to have a traditional marriage, and I use traditional in quotes, where the man is responsible for all the money. I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know.
We don't know, but my initial thinking whenever I hear about somebody controlling bank accounts or so forth, and this is something that she told people. So,
yes,
we don't know to what extent it's true. We just know that she told people this, right?
Mm-hmm.
My initial thought when I think about this is controlling, difficult, abusive, because financial abuse is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have doubt about that, because seeing what she does do when she does have independence, there's another possibility, which is that this issue had come up earlier in their relationship And he was like, I will do this partnership with you. You got to sign a prenup. And also I'm going to be in charge of this, and this, because you can't do it well. Because, you've had issues with money. So I just have a sense that this could be murkier than him just being like little woman. Because if he's like that, then she's doing it well. He had reason to be pissed at her around money, given the times
Sure.
that she used his name in her crimes. So anyway.
So there were a couple of points that I think helped the defense. Under cross-examination, Karrington, the forensic accountant, admitted that Kouri was busy running her company and acquiring houses, that she was so busy that tracking finances may not have been a priority, suggesting mismanagement rather than a murderous motive. What
do you think about that? What do you think about that argument?
I buy into that a little bit. I just said it. I think that when you are, especially when you're a newer real estate agent, and the idea that she was already buying and flipping houses, she hadn't been doing this for a very long time. The first 2-3 years of being a real estate agent, you are just scrambling to find clients. You were just trying to find, and you're spending money while you're doing it, right? So
but did she become an agent to do third-party transactions, or so that she could be an investor and then you do the transactions herself?
No idea.
I get the impression it's the latter.
Well,
sort
the
of like
problem
how
is
Tarek and Christina are real estate, they're professionals, but they did that so that they could, when the business was new and they weren't hiring other realtors, that they could not have to spend the 5% or whatever.
The way it works here in Maryland, it's different for every state. You have to get your real estate sales license, right? So your agent license.
Yes.
You still need to, in order to get your broker license,
yes,
you have to have 2 or 3 years of experience. You have to have people working under you. You have to have made a certain amount of money, all that stuff. I don't know how she jumps right into flipping houses right off the bat, but it could be different in Utah. I don't know. But I see when I think about the amount of money that I had to spend in the first 2 years or the first year of becoming a real estate agent, and I wasn't bringing any in unless I made one closing. And then you're dealing, when you're a new agent, you get lower percentages on the closing. And now, I mean, this didn't pertain to her back then, but now the seller doesn't have to pay for the buyer commission anymore.
Correct.
Right? So, but back then, when you're getting a deal, here you have to work for a broker.
I think it might be the opposite. I think the buyer doesn't have to split the seller commission anymore. There was a big real estate industry change in the last couple of years that has made it really tough for realtors to make money like they used to.
The seller doesn't have to pay the buyer's commission. It's not an agreement anymore. The buyer may end up having to pay their own commission, and that's the problem. Because the buyer in the past has never, it's sort of like an unspoken rule. The buyer never has to pay the commission. It's always the seller who pays the commission for the buyer, and the buy and sell side. That's how it worked here anyway.
Yeah.
But for the first 2 years,
New Hampshire is very different. Very few people have buyer's agents. And so the seller pays the commission. And then sometimes, depending on the deal, the buyer will, as part of the deal, agree to split half, but it's very ad hoc. It's very not.
Yeah. Well,
people
now
don't use lawyers when they buy shit here.
Yeah. It's very different now. So, but back then, it would have taken her a couple of years to build some kind of client list, right? So I don't know how long she was into this, but I do know that when you're in the beginning of your real estate career, you are scrambling. I mean, there were days where there were weeks on end where I was paying money to work.
I know, but were you falsifying the number of employees you had so that you could get loans? Were you investing in things you couldn't afford? This is a very different scale than somebody who's becoming a real estate agent, not making any money and floundering. This is a very different scale.
What I'm saying though is, you asked me, do I buy it? And I do think that she was so busy and trying so hard to make money, because at the end of the day, I think what she was working toward was becoming so financially independent that she wouldn't have to rely on him, and that her kids would want to, if they got divorced, her kids would want to be with her because she would be able to afford them the life that their father could. Because that was one of her concerns when she was talking to Allison Wright. She said, I'm worried that if we get divorced, the kids aren't going to want to spend any time with me because they're so used to living the way that they do with their dad, which is like 4-wheelers and doing all this shit. I can't give that to them. So she was trying to get to a place where she could give that to them. That's the way I saw it. But yeah.
You are so much more generous than I am with this case.
I'm
It's so
just trying to
fun.
have
I
an
like our
open
different
mind.
perspectives. I'm not like
I'm really just trying to have an open mind because
I am
I'm
too.
thinking, like, what if she actually didn't do this? Even if it's only a 2% chance that she actually didn't do this, we have to keep an open mind until all of the evidence has been presented, because that's what juries are asked to do. If
I
they're already,
agree.
so I'm like, I can't say she's guilty yet. And I know the audience gets pissed off at me for that, but I cannot say she's guilty.
I'm not pissed at you for that at all. We have differences of opinion about the way the evidence is being received. I think we're receiving it differently.
Yeah.
I am receiving bad facts as some of these bad facts are incontrovertible. The forensic accountant was a very compelling witness for me.
Agreed.
Like, I
agreed.
understand how other witnesses work. I understand that deals are made. If you say X, we'll do this. Like, that happens all the time. So a lot of witnesses, like, you know, listening to a thing this morning where this dude who's totally full of shit, who like says he turned on the Aryan Brotherhood and stuff in prison or whatever. And it turns out that like he told people what to say in the trial. Like, it was coercing. It was like a lot of coercion. He was getting special treatment in jail. Like, all this background stuff was happening. And then there was a murder case that the defendant didn't have access to any of this information.
Yeah.
So I take witness stuff with witnesses who are involved in the chain of a crime. I take that stuff very much with a grain of salt, understanding how the back end of prosecutions work. I don't take this kind of stuff that way. This is not phone data you can argue about. This is not location data that has a plus or minus. This is a seasoned forensic accountant, in my opinion, building a case, a prosecution case for a very strong murder motive. Like, this goes to motive to me. And
for sure.
It's like, motive is circumstantial, but circumstantial evidence is evidence. It's just as important as physical evidence. It's just as important as video evidence, just as important as everything else. And those are the instructions the jury has. They're supposed to weigh everything that they see in the way that they see the balanced fit. I weigh this, I think, because of a pattern of crimes that I have seen, that I have reported on, that I've written books about people who commit financial fraud and then kill people to keep it secret. That is a thing. And it's a very compelling and realistic motive, in my opinion.
I think that I mentioned this before. I had so much anxiety, and I'm having anxiety even talking about it right now.
Yeah. So I think we have the same anxiety about money stuff. When I hear about debt like this, I get this feeling in my stomach. I got a stomach ache right now talking about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think that, I've been poor most of my life. And so when you're poor, sometimes you make bad decisions. Sometimes you take out those payday loans because you have to feed your kids or pay the bills or mortgages due, whatever it might be. And then you get into this horrible spiral of stacking on bad loans in order to pay the bills. I'm not saying she did that. She was
robbing Peter to pay Paul. Yeah. I've done that in my life.
So much money, but also they're high interest. Like, if you default on a payday loan, they double the interest for you. So it's like, and she was making these payday loans. It wasn't something that came due once a month. They came due every day.
Yeah.
She had, there were weeks where she was having to owe $10,000 in repayments every week.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, what I see, if I'm looking at this from a psychological perspective and not from just like, this woman wanted to build an empire, and so she did all this like really fraudulent, stupid shit. No, I see her as a frantic human being who was desperately trying to become financially independent, was coming out of COVID, probably had gotten her real estate license either during COVID or whatever. And her husband, his business was bringing in $700,000 plus a year. And she didn't see any way that she was going to have a life outside of him. And so she started stacking and trying to make all these money moves and trying to make herself into a baller. And unfortunately, it just kept compounding and compounding and compounding. And she got deeper and deeper and deeper. I don't equate that yet with murder. Because regardless of, so I guess the way I look at it too is, you're doing all these financial crimes because she could be prosecuted for all these other crimes. You're going to put murder on top of that. You're already in so much trouble. You know what I mean? But the anxiety that I was feeling was, I had a very successful business for 13 years, the dog walking business that I've talked about before. I loved my job. I spent hours a day outside with a huge pack of dogs. I was one of those dog walkers that would have 12 dogs attached to my hips, and we would just walk down, and I had built that business for a long time. It was a local business. I was really proud of it. COVID happened. I lost 3/4 of my clients because they all went inside and they didn't need us anymore. And there were some clients who I was lucky they kept paying me even though I wasn't taking care of the dogs. And then in the middle of COVID, my partner, my wife and I were separated and we eventually got divorced. So not only did I lose 3/4 of my company, I took on, and at that point I was paying all the bills for our marriage from our company. And then I was taking on, the rental payments and the car payments and all that stuff all on my own. And I am still to this day digging myself out of that hole. And it's scary. And there are months where I'm like, I haven't lived like, I didn't live like this before.
Right.
I could pay my bills. I wasn't worried about credit card debt. I wasn't worried about if I was going to get in trouble because I haven't been able to make a credit card payment or whatever it might be, or overdrafting the account. I know there were some people in the chat the other day who were like, oh my God, I've never once overdrafted my checking account.
Oh,
And
I
thought,
You're very lucky.
how lucky are you? Because I mean, it's terrifying and it makes you feel like shit, and it breaks down your psychology as a human being. It breaks down your worth. It reflects in every part of your life. And that's why I was having anxiety listening to this, because what I see of this woman are all those things. They do not equate to murder for me. That's all I'll say about that.
No, I think I admire your empathy here. My disclosure is that when I was younger, I was terrible with money. And my first husband actually almost broke up with me when we were dating because somebody at his bank told him I had a bad credit score, which was illegal for him to look at, by the way.
Whatever.
But anyway, it was
Credit
fine.
scores are stupid anyway.
I then was married to a really financially responsible guy for 8 years and, had my house in order very much because of him. And because I grew up in the Gen X, like our parents taught us dick about money. They just assumed knowledge was just osmosized to us the way it did to them, because they're when they were growing up, when boomers were growing up, finances were so simple. Everything was like, straightforward. And they just assumed like an osmosis that did not happen. So when I got divorced, I got a little bit of money from the sale of our house, and I got a little bit of money from his retirement accounts. And I bought a small house. And I was like, I had a job in retail making $10 an hour. And it was very unrealistic that I would be able to sustain that for any period of time. Around the same time, I decided to go back to school, whatever. Fast forward like a year or 2 years, I had like $60,000 in credit card debt and no way to pay it. No way. And it was literally just a question of like clawing. So to this day, I have a lot of, like, I pay off my credit card balances every month. Like we have a lot of business expenses, whatever. When I look at my Amex account, and because we do business and travel stuff on it, sometimes there's like many thousands of dollars there that is accounted for, but I feel like I'm about to be in trouble. Like I feel like I'm going to be arrested. I feel like my car is about to be repossessed. All of those feelings come back. Having had financial stress, even if it was your own creation, is also very, very stressful. Or even just, I'm much better with money now. I know that we can pull a bunch of levers to change circumstances in our life if we have like a big financial change, all this stuff. But still, the anxiety is real. The main difference for me, and where she crosses the line where my empathy ends, is and I don't know if it's because she was involved with this guy and he was encouraging her. I don't know. But her stealing from her husband, her lying to banks, her forging bank statements and all this stuff, lying about how many employees she had. That's not so much robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's robbing other people to pay Paul. And I mean, and it's also like, it's not like declaring bankruptcy where you're just like, I fucking give up. It's not that. Yeah. And it gets to me like a pathology that is different from what happened to you, and that the pathology I have. Like I'm an impulsive person. I know that I know what I have to actually do to be good with money, but that's learned behavior, right?
Yeah.
But my pathology is if I have it, I'm going to spend it. Like that's and her pathology is like way beyond that. So
Yeah.
I do see it as a potential motive for murder. I don't think does it prove she put fentanyl in his thing? No. But motive is also an element of proving a murder. So I think that this goes to that. I think that, testimony about buying drugs doesn't seem great. The location stuff didn't seem great. Is that fuzzier? Sure. Should they have done a better investigation? Well, they didn't know it was a crime scene when they went. So I don't necessarily, I think that the prosecution's the specificity of her theory is the flaw of this case. The fact that she could have done it is not the flaw in the case, but they don't know if they've locked themselves in, but they have specificity here. Not dissimilar to Karen Reed. They had specificity. She backed up at a certain number of miles per hour. This happened and this happened. And it was this key cycle, which I still don't think it was that key cycle.
I know.
But they locked themselves into a timeline, a theory, or whatever that kept shifting subtly, that poked holes in it. If the prosecution fails here, it will because they locked themselves into a theory that has holes, not because, in my opinion, she didn't do it. But I know that for sure? No, of course. But I am leaning that way right now for sure.
Yeah. I think that at the end of the day, what I want to see is a fair trial. And I think that I agree with Liz. If she's found guilty, it will be circumstantial. I don't think they have any way to prove how the fentanyl got in his system.
Yeah.
And so who was it that was
Thank you,
making a
Jody.
point?
This is a very nice comment, and I really appreciate it.
You want to read it?
Yeah, you two should teach a class on how to respectfully disagree. I freaking love you both so much. Respect is the key to that. Like Mel's opinions and my opinions are different, but they both come from good faith places, and we both respect each other a lot. And we also agree on like 95% of other things in our lives. So we have this little alley for disagreement. I think we're very comfortable sitting in there and not worrying about the rest of our relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no. Well, I'm also like, I believe in good debate. I believe that, if you believe in something or you have life experience or you've researched, you should be able to debate about something with the people that you love and you respect, and they should be able to hear you and you should be able to hear them.
Yeah.
And if your mind can be changed, then change your mind. Like, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to, think differently because you've been convinced by somebody. It's okay.
Absolutely
I hate that we're so polarized in this country. And that we
that's
just
where a
stick
lot
with
of
our
it comes
talking
from, the
points.
inability to be wrong. Like,
Yes.
You hear this all the time when I read like Two Hot Takes or Am I the Asshole stuff on Reddit, or when I was doing my advice podcast or whatever. For some people, it's so much more important to be right than it is to be nice. Or to be right than it is to be whatever. And I see this with the Karen Reed case is so fascinating to me. And I'm sure people are fucking bored of it by now. I will never be, because it is so political in its nature.
Yes.
Like the nature of her guilt or innocence has become a political style debate with entrenchment and a lack of ability to be flexible. And it's like, I think there are people like you and me who do have that ability to sort of like be flexible. Like I am not buying and I'm fighting about it on Reddit. I am not buying that the state edited the voicemail tape of John. Like I just don't, I think that's, and I think that when you just glibly say, oh, that seems like it's true or whatever, it invalidates some of your other claims.
You're talking about the voicemail, Karen's phone with the open line where she was calling John.
Yes. Good signposting.
Voicemail. And Jen McKay was calling 911 and ended the call. And then for some reason, there's a minute and some odd.
There's a minute and 12 seconds that the phone is open, but the voicemail is not recording. People are like, the state edited it. And I'm like, I believe what happened is that the carrier's voicemail limit was 4 minutes, and that Karen's phone may still have been open. Someone may have been collecting sound, but it was not recorded. That's what I think. Anyway, yeah, nice signposting. See? But I just have like, but if I'm proven wrong about that, I'll be like, I was wrong about that. It is true. You know what I mean? Like there is, I think there are people like you and I who have space to wiggle. Believe it or not, I think Turtle Boy is one of those people. I think he has space to wiggle. Which
is why I have respect for him.
Well, the reason that I like him more than some other people is because he will share a bad fact about himself and just be like, I fucking did that bad fact. And it's like, that is something other people are not willing to do. And so they're not being honest. So sure, is he honest about everything? We know he's not, but
no,
It's,
No
it's
one
a
is.
spectrum. It's a spectrum.
Jess, I keep forgetting to say this to you, Jess, but your puppy is so friggin' cute.
Really, it is.
And I need to know more about your puppy. Jess said, I need you to watch an episode of the Necessary Conversation podcast and comment about it. 2 adult children talk politics with their super MAGA parents. So infuriating, especially the dad. I have seen it. I watch it often. It infuriates me to the point where I sometimes can't watch it. But I have seen that they are making some headway, and that's really interesting. So everybody should go watch that series. It's really good.
Everybody should
Stephanie
watch the
says-
Ashley Padilla skit on Saturday Night Live too, where she plays a mother who's changed her mind about Trump
Oh my gosh,
and
so
her
good, so
completely
good.
obnoxious children. It's more important for them to be right than to
Yes.
be kind. They just
Yes.
scream at her, I
Yes.
told you so, instead of listening to her. It's a
Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant sketch.
Stephanie says, I totally agree with Mel about how Kouri's situation started. I am just already at the point where I think it ended with murder.
By the way, this might appear to be true, but as somebody who sometimes occasionally speaks to Turtle Boy, not in the public sphere, I can tell you it's also true personally. So I tend to, yeah, sure. He will, like with the phone tape, he said he didn't do it for a really long time. And he wasn't telling the truth on that. I didn't think he was telling the truth on that, but now he's admitting that he lied about it. So there's a spectrum, I think, there that I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying I endorse it. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm saying that if there's a spectrum of people, which one am I going to more lean toward than the other one? That's kind of what I'm talking about. But now I can never watch this video again because I'll be so ashamed that I said that.
Shauna says, I don't think she was a financial criminal mastermind. I think she was just trying to keep her head above water and probably thought the ends, financial success, would justify the means. Fraud. Agreed.
If she was a criminal mastermind, this would have gone on a lot longer than it did.
Yes.
Some of these fraud people go on forever. They find people to give them money. If you ever watched that thing, there's a bunch of not Netflix documentaries about this, but like the Tinder swindler, how he did it for fucking years. He'd meet one woman, get her to pay for a bunch of stuff that he was using to pay for stuff for another woman. And he went on he's still doing it to this day. Yeah. He's still doing it.
Yep. He got out and started
He's
again.
a mastermind. Yep. This woman is not.
No. Jess has a hound mix rescue. We should do like a dog of the week or something. We have so many of the people that are our listeners have dogs in their profile pictures. And we obviously, Ruby and Briscoe and Stewie, like, we should do a dog of the week or something. Very poorly behaved, so good thing he's cute. He's named Sparky after the Clark Griswold character in Christmas Vacation.
So cute. Hold on a minute.
He's very cute. His little eyebrows. Stop it. Yeah.
There's our dog of the week right there.
Oh. He is.
My dogs got groomed and they looked so.
Oh my God.
Look at my favorite part is the puffy legs and feet situation.
I know.
He looks like he should have one of those TY or Gund tags on his, like, so. And by the way, I don't know how they do this. I know that you know more about dog grooming and stuff than I do. I don't know if they put hairspray on them or what, but they still have the maximum. Their hair is just sticking straight out, maximum fluff. It is so freaking cute.
I didn't do any dog grooming, though I would love to because I think it's hilarious. But I would mess up dogs' hair so bad. Like, you know those, like, my dog just got groomed by the worst groomer videos and pictures? That would be me. I would be giving, like, dogs, like, the bowl cut and, like, all that stuff. So
that's a genre of internet that I love. Bad dog grooming. Yeah.
Rage Knitter said, I do respect Mel's beautiful heart. I'm inclined to think Kouri did the horrible thing and we can't understand her decisions. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there is a very real possibility that she did this, but I want to see concrete proof of that.
And Mel does have a beautiful heart. You are bang on about that.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. And I don't know if I'm ever going to see concrete proof of it. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, the jury is going to take this after 5 weeks and they're going to go into a room and they're going to, because the thing is, they have all the evidence in front of them, but we are not smart if we think that juries don't bring their own personal experience and their own confirmation bias into this. And so if I were in this jury room, I would be one of the people that would be arguing the way I'm arguing right now, because I do believe that, I mean, I do understand on a small level what this woman was going through. And it's not a good place to be. I could never be in a place where I would consider murder. You know what I mean? Like, I would never hurt someone, whether I hated them or loved them. I just don't think that when we've already one person has died in this situation, and another person's life is on the line. I don't think we can just off the cuff be like she's guilty 2 weeks in or a week and a
Right.
half in. So
So
that's my
I,
yeah.
somebody mentioned this and I just looked it up. I wasn't aware that there was a separate set of charges for financial crimes that she's also likely to be
Mhm.
charged for because she has not pled yet.
Yeah.
The financial crimes she's being charged with include 5 charges of mortgage fraud, 7 charges of money laundering, 5 charges of forgery, 7 charges of issuing a bad
Yep.
check, 1 communications fraud, and 1 pattern of lawful activity.
Yep.
According to the charging documents, Richins used her power of attorney to take out a $250,000 home equity line of
HELOC.
credit on the premarital home of her husband without him knowing. She allegedly formed her own business using that.
These are all financial crimes.
When Eric learned about the secret line of credit, the charges claim Kouri replied that she would repay the loan. Despite Eric believing the credit had been paid off, it had not been when he was found dead. I know that these are separate crimes, but to me, they are potentially linked. So I'm just going to say that the last time. I'm not going to say that again.
I agree. I mean, I agree to some extent, but I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? Like I still will never understand anybody who murders over financial stuff. I mean, like, I didn't understand it when Alec Murdaugh did it. I just think I think that some people get to a point where they are so overwhelmed and have so much anxiety, and maybe there are drugs involved and all these things, that you no longer are making human decisions. You are making survival decisions. But how anybody in their right mind could think murdering their spouse is going to help cover up or make their financial issues better is beyond me. I don't understand it. You know, there is no guarantee that the life insurance is going to pay out. So taking a gamble like that, killing somebody and hoping that the life insurance pays out, you know,
well,
like
there's no guarantee if you get caught being a murderer. But other than that, if it's a term policy and you're the beneficiary, you're going to get paid.
Yeah, but you may not get paid for months. You may not get paid for, I mean, when my grandfather passed away, you know, through just regular health stuff, my grandmother didn't get she only got like $150,000 in life insurance, and she didn't get it for almost 6 months.
Yeah.
So the idea that killing someone would be the immediate solving of the problems is just a naive and weird, and it doesn't make any sense to me. It never makes any sense to me. So
unless you have transfer on death accounts, which a lot of people do.
Yeah. So anyway, I understand that that money, financial issues, and stress are a huge motivation for murder. I guess I understand that. I don't understand it in my own personal anything.
Oh, I wouldn't do it either, but I just, there's a pattern of it. I mean, our Legally Dead, that was a pattern. One of the books I wrote, clearly like a lot of family annihilator cases and all that stuff. So yeah, but I'm not saying I would do it. Do you think I'm saying I would do it? I know you're not saying that.
No, I'm not. You're not saying that. So today,
little does Kevin know about the secret second mortgage I have on our home.
You do not, do you?
No.
Why are you saying it then?
I just wanted to see if he was listening from the other room. He clearly isn't.
I think it's really difficult. I think finances are the thing that tears marriages apart more than anything, like money issues. I think it sucks. I think that you could be so in love with somebody and then some major financial thing happens and that's what tears you apart. Like, I hate that. I hate that for us. I also hate that we live like this, that we live with the stress of being broke. You know, like
that credit scores matter so much.
Yeah, that credit. Like, I've told you the story of, you know,
it's
like
rigged. The system is rigged, to be very clear.
Rigged.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we have 8, you know, billionaires who run everything right now, and the rest of us have nothing.
We have hundreds now. We used to have 8. Now we have like 1,000.
Well, but 8, like the top 8. Amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've told you this story before. You know, like when the movie that I was directing in LA had a $10 million budget. And I had put everything into it. And when that movie fell apart through no, you know, fault of my own, and I lost everything, including, you know, getting evicted from my apartment in LA. My producer lost her house, or almost lost her house. Like, you have no idea. So there are a lot of people in the world who don't know what it feels like to be homeless. And there are a lot of people in the world who don't know what it feels like to not be able to pay a $25 bill, or you can't pay for your phone. Like, think about it this way. If you can't pay for your phone, how do you communicate? How do you apply for jobs? How do you do anything in this day and age?
Right.
I mean, I know you can go to the library, but in order to get a library card, you have to show them you have an address. If you don't have an address, how do you get a library card? Like, we don't think about it on that granular level because we have a lot of people in our world have a baseline of privilege.
Comfort. Yeah.
And
this is why
privilege.
people don't understand why people get so angry about the voter ID conversation.
Yes.
Because you're solving a problem that doesn't exist by sanctioning poor people. Like, that is
Right.
what you are doing. Like, a state, in New Hampshire, we have a voter ID law now. If you need state issue ID, if you can't drive, do you know, it's like getting a state issue ID costs money. You have to be able to drive to get it. These are things that, like, people very much take for granted that they can do.
Yes.
Very, very much take for granted. And saying that someone who can't do those things shouldn't enjoy the same constitutional rights as other people, it's a test. It's a tax. It's like so there's a it's a real conversation to be had there, because again, the voter fraud thing is not real. That's not an opinion. That's actually factually borne out. But even and within the margin of error that it is real, it's insignificant. But the purpose of these laws is to get fewer people to vote. Getting fewer people to vote is a known strategy that's been documented, talked about in political meetings. Like, this is a known strategy. So it's disingenuous when people say, well, I have my license, so I can vote. Well, good for you. But like, somebody who doesn't have a house should also be able to vote, because how are they going to influence the policy that they believe led them to not have a house? Like,
right.
So there's a whole, it's not a dissimilar thing. I think that we have time to make this stream. People have time to watch this stream. I don't think we are probably surrounded right now in our audience with people who have a layer of privilege that they are very accustomed to. I'm very accustomed to it. But like, it's real. I think that Kouri, though, I'm not saying you should ever stay in a situation that makes you deeply unhappy. I don't think one should.
But sometimes you don't have an option to get out, just to be clear.
Correct.
Yes.
But Kouri also had, I mean, what was Kouri's family? Did Kouri have a family? Does Kouri have parents? Does Kouri have
her
siblings?
mother, her brother?
Yeah. The soft place to land thing is not insignificant. Like, we were talking about this, my ex-husband and I talked yesterday. He's going to sell. He still owns a condo here in the town where I live, where he let both boys live there for a period of time while they were starting their jobs. Super nice thing for him to do. He doesn't live there anymore. He just called me yesterday to tell me that he's going to sell it because they have their own places now or whatever. And that's his right to sell it. And I'm like, that's great. And I said, also, we both know that if one of them were to have dire circumstances, we live here, like, they could always come back. And that is like the soft place to land privilege that I think Kouri probably enjoyed, that a lot of people enjoy, that a lot of people don't realize people don't have. Like, there's a level of desperation and stuff.
And I will say that I'm sure that she was thinking, my life is going to change substantially from the privilege that I have if he and I get divorced, because I'm going to have nothing. And I've lived this certain way, and I'm not really used to that anymore. So yeah, I get it. I think there are a lot of, but what percentage of the population?
It's approximately, my reporting on this for the Civics 101 podcast is between 7 and 10%.
Yeah. Yes. And then it's not just about ID. If they're asking you, if you have to prove your citizenship in order to register to vote, it's not about ID. It's about proving your citizenship in order to register. In order to prove your citizenship, like, for me, I'll use myself as an example. If I had to go prove my citizenship,
you mean where you live, not your U.S. citizenship. You mean where you reside and can vote.
No, I am talking about citizenship. They are in the SAVE Act. They are requiring. They're hoping to pass the SAVE Act.
Right,
and in the
but it's
SAVE
already
Act,
illegal for non-citizens to vote. They're solving a problem that doesn't exist. Like, that is
right. That's my point. But the thing is,
legal.
If they're going to make everyone, because of the SAVE Act, go out and prove their citizenship in order to register, not to vote, but to register to vote, then you have to show your passport. You have to show forms of photo ID, your birth certificate. And then there are women like me. I changed my name when I got married. So my social security card has my new last name on, or the last name I have now. My passport has my last name. If I were to have to go register to vote again and prove my citizenship, I would have to go and either change my name back to my maiden name, or I would have to go, like, a divorce certificate doesn't help. A marriage certificate doesn't help. I have to show you birth certificate, social security. It'd be so difficult for me to vote because I changed my name. How many women, Kouri Richins is one of them. She has the same last name as Eric. She wouldn't be able to vote if she were eligible. So it's a poll tax, but it's also trying to keep certain groups of people from voting. I mean, there are so many people in this country who do not have access to their original birth certificate.
1 in 10.
1 in 10.
And the percentage among poor and Black people is way higher. An estimated 21% of Black adults and 23% of Hispanic adult U.S. citizens lack a valid, accurate driver's license or state ID. So this is to be clear. This is not my political opinion. These are statistics that point to policy, and the people who are pushing for these policies are very open about why they are doing it. And the fraud thing is a new talking point that's been used to sort of make more people believe it, but that's not what they've been saying since the 1960s. So don't at me about that, because it's just true. Anyway.
Right. But
liberals have at it. I'm not, how do you know I'm a liberal? I'm literally just saying what's true.
Okay, well, and also, this is not politics. We're actually talking, I'm still talking about Kouri Richins.
Yeah.
Because this is about having, I mean, finances tear apart marriages sometimes. And when you are in a position where you are not the one who makes the most money in the relationship, and you're not happy anymore in your marriage and you want to get out, and you have children and you have property, when you start contemplating all that and you think, oh my God, I'm going to have nothing. How do I get out of this and have, like, I think for me, I'll be honest with you. I think for me, one of the red flags would be that the prenup said that if they get divorced, she gets nothing. I don't think that's totally fair. And it's not because it's man, woman. If it were the other way around, if Kouri was the one who made more money and had asked him to sign a prenup, I would still think it was unfair, because they've built a life together. They've been together for, I think, like 7 to 10 years, somewhere in there. They have children together. They have property together. They have built a home together. And in those situations, it should be equal. So the idea that she signed a prenup that said she wouldn't get anything if they got divorced that's a red flag for me.
It says they still have to be legally married for her to inherit. So I'm a believer in prenups, but in terms of what I personally think is fair, I personally think it's fair for the fruits of a marriage to be game. So I think it's very fair if somebody comes into a marriage with family money or whatever to ask for a prenup to protect their children's assets or their family's assets. I think that's completely fair and on the table. And I think that, my marriage is not like this, but some marriages have more of a business agreement element to them. Mine does, because my husband and I are in business together, but we have written our estate stuff and everything. Like, if we split up or whatever, like, we have agreed, because everything we have has happened since we've been married. So doesn't matter who worked harder, who made more, does not matter, because it's just it's an acknowledged thing that I couldn't have done what I done without him, and he couldn't have done what he did without me. So, like,
and I've been lucky because my partner is a very big business lady.
Finance bro.
She's got her finance vest. I call it her finance bro vest. But, so
You're talking about the fleece vest that has the partial zip? That has the logo on it?
She has like 17 vests. Anytime she wears one, I'm like, oh, you got your finance bro vest on today. Awesome. I am more of a creative type. And like I said, I did have a very successful business, but I no longer have that business because of the pandemic. And so I have this business, which I love and I am good at, and it makes me happy and it gives me joy and it feeds my soul, but it doesn't make a ton of money. And so I'm very lucky to be in a long-term relationship, a partnership where my partner is able to pick up the slack sometimes, but I hate that. I want to get to a place where she doesn't have to pick up the slack, where I'm able to, contribute as much as she does. I don't know if we'll ever get there, because she's always probably going to make more money than I do, but it's just like,
I'm looking up the prenup now for this to answer this question.
Was it really nothing or just nothing of what he had before the marriage? Good question, Jess.
We had a lot less after the marriage thanks to her stealing from him. No, so the prenuptial agreement stipulates that in the event of a divorce, Eric's share in the business would remain solely his possession.
Yeah.
He took steps to ensure that the event of his death, the 50% share would not go to his wife. So I think he probably saw that business as the fruit of his labor with his business partner, and did not
his business partner who that fell apart too.
I know, because they cheated in hunting. And the business partner had to tell.
Because Eric cheated in hunting.
Well, the guy helped him because he did give him the tag to put on that elk.
That's true.
I read the complaint, and I'm sure the feds or whatever were just like, "So did you put it on?" And he couldn't lie. He was like, "I did."
Yeah, I did.
That's not snitching. That's literally just telling the truth. So.
Yeah. I agree, Liz. I think spouses should have their own checking accounts in one joint. Keep it separate. Yep, I agree with that.
A lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever spouses decide to do is great. I do believe in having your own money on the side.
Yes.
It's also handy, by the way, if your spouse becomes incapacitated and somehow you have temporary non-access to some things. It's very helpful to have a little bit of money on the side.
And I will say, to add an extra layer to this, Ruby is being a chair hog today. To add an extra layer to this, when it ever comes up that, marriage equality might go away, I think the thing that people don't understand about marriage equality is that finances, power of attorney, that kind of stuff is all sort of up in the air. You have to have everything in order and ready to go, and like at a moment's notice. Did you hear that?
I did.
That was the biggest snore. I love you. And then, when I talk to my friends and family about this who don't fully understand, like Lindsay and I are not married. We are in a domestic partnership. But if they take marriage equality away, people like my cousin, who's been married for almost 15 years now, and they have a child, like her partner, her wife, will not be allowed into the emergency room. If my cousin was on her deathbed, her partner is not considered family. And finances are a big, like you literally have to have all of your ducks in a row.
Yeah, you have paperwork saying exactly what you want. Yeah.
Because otherwise, whatever state you're in, if they don't have any kind of marriage equality or any kind of, rights for domestic partners, every time, I don't know if people understand the fear of like when you go to the hospital and you're not sure if your partner is going to be allowed in with you if you need them there. The last time I had to go to the emergency room like 4 years ago. And I remember we walked in and I was like, I don't know how it works here. Straight people don't necessarily have to think about that. So when it comes down to divorce or when it comes down to dissolving a partnership, like it really is important to have all the paperwork done, like including like who gets the dog, you know what I mean? And to know because families become involved. Like, look at this situation. Eric's family was immediately involved in their lives financially when the power of attorney was handed over to Katie, the sister. And then after that, there was obviously animosity. Kouri sued the family. The family spent $100,000 to hire a private investigator. Like, when the family becomes involved in the finances, in the relationship, it just gets messier and messier and messier. So I just want everybody to keep all of that in mind as we're listening to this trial, because I think we do have a tendency to forget that everyone involved is a human being, including Kouri Richins. And she made really bad decisions. Our worst decisions don't define us. They shouldn't define us. So that's really all I want to say. Like, there's so much going on here, and there are so many people involved in this very intimate thing that happened. And yeah, that's where I land on it. Do you have anything else you want to add before we jump out of here? Because it's almost been 2 hours.
No, but I do encourage people to share our stream on your social media so that we can
Did we get to 100?
Build audience. Did we get to 100 likes?
I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
You need to forward me that email with that photo.
I will.
And if you become a member of this channel, you will get perks such as me sending you stickers like this I Heart Straight Bear sticker and other stickers. If you become a member and then put your name on the form that's attached to our YouTube page. It's right there on the
Mhm.
description of our YouTube page. There's a link to a form. If you become a member of this channel, send me your address. I will not share it with aluminum siding salespeople, but I will instead send you a set of stickers.
We really appreciate everybody too. And we are still growing. Our next big goal is to get to 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys could help us out by liking and commenting and rating and sharing the videos, being a part of the live, it's super helpful for us. And the memberships are really helpful. Gifting memberships is so nice. Rob is somebody who's done that quite a bit, and we really appreciate you, Rob.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Rob
out
got
our
his
merch.
stickers. Rob got his stickers over the weekend. And Amanda said the stickers are epic. Also, my coffee mug shipped. Oh yeah, she ordered the I'll Allow It coffee mug. I'm excited to see it. If you guys do get stickers or any of the merch, please take pictures and post them in the Facebook group. Let us know. We like to see our stuff out in the wild. Somebody said healing thoughts to your wife. Chris, what's going on with your wife? Wait. Oh, your wife is in surgery. Second surgery in 2 weeks. Oh no, Chris, I'm sorry.
Please tell her we wish her well.
Yes,
Her name is
for
also
sure. We'll
Chris,
be
by the
thinking.
way. I met her. She's lovely.
That's lovely. I love it. I really appreciate you, Chris, and please, we'll keep your wife, Chris, in our thoughts and let us know. Give us an update on what's happening. And we love you guys and appreciate you. And thanks for the tips. Thanks for the memberships. Thanks for anything that you can do to help us move this channel along, because at the end of the day, we may not agree on everything, but we absolutely love the work that we do. And we love spending time with you guys. And I love spending time with you, Rebecca, because you're amazing.
I love spending time with you because you're so much more objective than I am. Call back.
I'm not.
I know.
I'm not objective.
I know.
I am. In some things I am. In some things I am.
And some things I'm not. Because in some things I have learned enough facts where my objectivity is now.
I am not objective about the fact that Kevin Lennahan is a douchebag to his elderly mother. I am not objective about the fact that I think that Colleen Crawford has now, like, it is solidified to me that she manipulated images and video of Karen Reed's taillight and the Sally Port. I am not objective about the fact that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car and a car did not hit John O'Keefe and he did not hit a car himself. And that Karen Reed is innocent, and that there's chaos in the world right now, but we still love each other. So we're going to get through it. Okay. We will be back tomorrow. We're not sure what time yet, but I will let you all know. And in the meantime, thank you. And we love you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Love you guys.
All right. We'll see you later. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Bye.